Okay, I think that works. Okay, yep. That is not how I expected things to go. There is rabbit ears. Floppy rabbit ears.
Follow my lead! A new challenge for me? Take a knee and bow before me!
I'll turn you into corpse starch. Throne take you.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it. Eradicate it. Doubt is for the weak. Rejoice in battle!
How did you miss every shot there?
I'll pass.
And everyone! Fight, fight, fight! Cha-cha-cha! Fight, fight! Cha-cha-cha! Let's go! Let's go! Fight, fight! Ah!
Nothing I can't do. All too easy.
A tactically sound approach. It will be done. Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
See? Right there. As the Emperor commands, I act.
High momentum.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. If I may. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Power resides in the will of the righteous. I refuse. Eradicate it. Faith without deeds is worthless.
You missed.
As the Emperor commands.
There you go. They're like one health away. You finish them off.
I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Never doubt me. The Emperor favors me today.
Hello.
I
Welcome
better
in,
myself
everyone.
through my service. Never doubt me. Duty prevails.
It's about time.
I think there's like a
This
mine.
ocular implant was a worthwhile
Yes, right
investment.
there.
Pay attention. I better myself through my service. The Emperor favors me today.
There we go.
None shall stand in my way. I'll lay claim to the stars.
Oop, saving. The sunshine of Piscine and blood blankets the starport. Echoes of shots and gunfire drift through the landing pads. The shards of plexiglass crunch underfoot. You recognize Sergeant Malgar and the crew huddled next to the shuttles. He was the soldier who greeted you upon your arrival on Recurred Minoris. The sergeant's chest is fitted with a sturdy-looking flak vest, bearing insignia customary amongst your troops. One of the enforcers you sent must have given it to Malgar as a gift. A group of bloody and frightened people is wedged between Malgar's wardens and the shuttles. Recognize him as the governor of the planet and the members of the high-ranking entourage. Their expensive attire has been torn in the fight, and many bear wounds by bayonets. Examine the people in front of the shuttle. Some of the nobles are paralyzed with fears, others scream with despair. Two corpses are lying on the ground with their arms outstretched. Black blood has pooled under one of them. Their skull has been split open like a nut, encircled by a pinkish crimson halo, bone splinters, and bits of brain matter. Sergeant Malgar, do you demand an immediate report? Governor, would you care to explain to me what's going on? How dare you treat Highborn in such a matter? Sergeant, where are the people who were sent to assist you from my ship? They already went back to the ship, sir. Malgar's trying to sound respectful, but his voice is vibrating like taut spring. Good people, your soldiers. They helped us out like this caring. Looks back at the nobles. Our esteemed governor and his gang of cronies have been carried behind us, and now when things get rough, they thought they could escape her. Scarper? Scarper. He is here to die. We shed our blood for him, and broken our backs to provide for him. And after all this, you think that's fair? You piece of grok shit. That's a good name. A large semi-domesticated reptile. Malgar's stun baton hits the governor in the chest, causing the ornaments on the governor's uniform to jingle in unison. The governor spits out blood, opens his mouth to respond when his head explodes. His body falls limp to the side, his remaining eyes staring upward. The chorus of noble screams cannot drown out the sergeant's spiteful whisper. Enough, you said your piece. Avatar, you got there, I see. Yes, I am, as you can see, Natsuki. I have floppy ears. For generations upon generations, the nobles of the world care for Recurred Minoris and ensure the prosperity of its inhabitants. This is your gratitude, peasant? For killing a nobleman? You deserve to be executed where you stand. Cassie throws out her hand and Malgar knees buckle. My mentor was right. The rabble truly have no honor. Abelard looks at the governor's body, his brow furrowed. Madness. Punishable by death. We don't have time for this. We need to get to the shuttle now. That is a very... They're so floppy. Yes, they are so floppy. Hendrix has a very good point of like, hey, we should get out of here. Actually, I should also move myself, probably. Hold on. I'm gonna move... No, I'm gonna move... Keep you about... There. Is this what the red button did? Patty didn't pay attention to the email that had about the red button, as well as the hidden Patty command where we stop stream and we just watch Patty streams for the rest of the day. You're acting like an executioner. You think you have such a right? I agree. Let's save your people and escape this place. Another in your position could have forgotten that the Emperor protects all of his subjects. Ooh, I couldn't afford these people. Just get me out of this. Get me and my retinue off this planet. Put your weapon in the sergeant. You'll drop your weapon, servant. Ooh, or I'll end you like a rabid dog. Another in your position could have forgotten that the Emperor protects all of his subjects, but surely not you. It is your duty to help anyone you can. The sergeant paused before nodding heavily. Your lordship, sir. You help us when things look grim for us. I'll do as you say. Why you want to save these parasites? I don't understand, but maybe not all of them deserve death. A dull thud comes from deep within the starport. Heavy footsteps shake the rock-crete, raising an unpleasant tremor in your bones.
You thought you had killed Aurora, false believers. Tremor, for I am Aurora. I am the herald of change. Behold the final dawn, and die!
I won't heed your cries of mercy.
The disgrace of Monarchia will be avenged.
I love just the look of Chaos Space Marines sometimes. They always look so cool. Pascal, you are immediately going front and center. Abelard, you're front and center. Henrix, you're gonna go front and center. Everyone else is gonna be range. Argenta, you're gonna go here because you're gonna go for the shots, and then me and Cassio will stay back. Ooh. Okay. We are going to
Kiss, fall in love.
That'd be 82%.
Naturally.
Also, I should have done
The
this.
throne's glory. But
Endure.
of course, Lord Captain.
Oh, there's also other enemies. Great.
Pain cleanses the body. As the Emperor commands, I act. Eradicated. Each strike is a prayer.
Oh, I even killed enemies over there. That is hilarious. Where are there other enemies? Oh, over there. And over there. Okay. Can I even hit you from there? No, I can't.
Doubt is for the weak.
Okay.
I'll do it.
High momentum.
In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave.
Hydrate. Okay, well, in a second. Can I hit you? There's a chance. Ooh, good shot.
Faith without deed, worthless. I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
You know what? I'm immediately gonna give. Ooh, this is tough. First, move here.
Absolutely not.
Give Pascal a chance to shoot.
Already done. Nothing I can't do.
High momentum.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Yeah, I'm gonna immediately give Abelard a turn.
I'll paint your death in colors.
He's gonna get
My place
right in
is
there.
at the fore.
He's going to just swing at this guy.
At your beck and call.
And he's gonna swing again because Abelard is a
Indeed.
champ.
Target well struck.
And he's gonna
I
brace
will
for
do my
impact.
duty.
And we're gonna give him another.
Do
Well,
not
she
dare
can't actually see him.
ask.
And you're gonna just give him another swing.
It will be done. Victory is imminent. I took care of
There we
this
go.
guy.
Oh, okay, wait. Let me catch up on chat. Okay, there's been hydrates. What am I drinking tonight? Some bun ready. You think you can run it dry? That is cute. I have, well, technically, 4 bottles at my desk, and plenty more behind. Well, actually, there's one below the desk. Welcome in. So, for those who are not aware, Patty pressed the big red button. What the big red button does is, Suki disappears, stream ends, and I come about. The face of your doom. These ears have grown a centimeter for every person I have destroyed. And I get a level up. I can choose my archetypes. So now we can actually choose archetypes. So we got the Vanguard, which is like the front line shield. Master Tacticians. So momentum is when you're like the battle's going your way, and you can give your team like bonus moves, more chances to attack. You give yourself chances to attack. You debuff enemies. So what it is all about is giving more turns to your allies. Grand strategists, they're all about like picking different parts of the battlefield and making it like that's the front line, that's the back line. So like the front lines can do more melee damage, the back lines have chances to dodge, stuff like that. We are going for Master Tactician. Now, ooh, this is the prompt. Assassins. So, bounty hunters are all about, like, critical hitting, damage reductions. They're pretty much, they pick one person, and they're like, you're gonna die. Assassins are all about, like, doing damage, dodging, dodge reduction, hit and run tactics. Pascal would be perfect for that, because he's usually on the move. Hendrix is iffy, because he can be an assassin, he could be in Vanguard, and he can also be Archmillet. He's going to be good as Archmillet because he can do weapon rotation, because he uses a bit of everything. Abelard is Vanguard. Like, I don't even have to look at that twice. Cassie is Grand Strategist. Don't even have to look at that twice. Now, here's the thing. Argena could be a great bounty hunter, but she could be also a great Archmillet. Like, both of these are good for her. Because this can be, like, she does a lot of damage, so she can focus on one person and, like, be a boss killer. Or she can be, like, the large area attacks, which I think she already does really well. So I'm going to go with that. Yeah, so there's like 5 archetypes, and the thing is, no matter what character, like, class you pick, you can pick 3 of those archetypes, and there's more. Before I continue the drinking, let me bring those up. So there's even exemplars. There's even a third set, which is which gives you even more sets of ones. So there's a few different kinds of your basic class, pretty much just three styles of classes. Your basic classes, which is like soldier, officer, stuff like that. Like I'm an officer. He's an operative. He's a warrior. He's a warrior. She's an officer. And she's a soldier. So you have a bunch of different base classes, and then from there you can pick you get 3 options of 5 of the medium classes, and then there's like 3 final classes. So you can take different, like, you could have 2 soldiers and have them take 2 different paths, but still end up with the final class. So it's very interesting. Did you choose to be an officer? Yes, I chose to be an officer. Quick rundown. Soldiers are pretty much, they're your range class. They're your weapon class. They're the ones that you want to put a gun in. They're all about hit and run tactics, stand your ground shooting. They're kind of like your ranger. They're your range rogue. They're kind of like your sorcerer a bit. Then we'll go to our warriors. Your warriors are your frontline warriors. I love a deep customization. So yes. So there's 2 different kinds of warriors. There's the ones that are pretty much, they're a tank. Abelard's a tank, straight up a tank. Then you have the ones that are DPS style warriors, which they focus on doing psychic damage, different kind of. Why are you bunny here? Because that's what the big red button did. Bit of every kind of damage. The operatives are all about debuffing and buffing yourselves. They're kind of like your inquisitive rogue, I would compare them to. And better yet, so some things you can pick is like the Forge World. You actually have quite a bit of options to pick. For one is your home world. These things how you can build things so differently. So we'll start with the home world. The home world that gives you a few different options. Each of these options have different abilities. They give you a feature. For example, my feature is Fortune as a Voidborn. I can reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry, characteristic, or skill check with a 20% chance of success. So anytime I fail a check, I can reroll, and if it's at 20% chance, it's a success. Then we'll give some not all these characters have these homeworld. Then you have characters that have a Forge World. For example, they have Forge Purpose. They pick an implant, and they get a bonus to that combat roll. Imperial Worlds. They're humanity's finest. They can select a weapon skill or a ballistic skill and immediately get a +10 skill to it. That's like 2 level ups worth of a skill level up in one of those 2 things. But there's also different other talents and problems. For example, they know no heresy. Their Imperial World, their Xeno lore skill is always 0. So there's always bonuses and downsides to what homeworld you have. And then from there you pick your origin. I picked Commissars. Commissars are pretty much your frontline guy. They're all about boosting your whole party and being the next guy in line going like, hey you, I'm giving you a bonus to your next attack. Versus someone, let's say, our Tech Priest. Our Tech Priest is all about immediately making enemies' weapons worse, more likely to misfire, more likely to miss, and also making our weapons that more likely to crit. And then you have some that are like a Sanctioned Psyker. Sanctioned Psyker means they can use psychic abilities. And that's just in your character creation. Like, we have 3 vastly different play styles. Even Abelard, whose origin is a Navy officer, his is brace for impact. He pretty much has a more chance to dodge and reflect damage right off the way. These 2 are both warriors, but they each have different things. He's a psychic warrior. He's pretty much, like, the best way to put it, he's an Eldritch Knight fighter from D&D, while he's a straight up just battle master. and you get so much like character customization. And then the Triumph and Darkest Hour just gives you a skill and skill minus, but you have all these different characters. Each of these different characters have like their own playstyle straight up when you first meet them. Gem of Vitality. The Heavy Bolter. Can't use that. I can use... No, that pistol. I can't use the life-draining sword. Can anyone use these? I don't think so, because none of us are heretics. Then we got the... basic weapons, and then you. Oh, hello, Crown. Mesh vets. Ooh, ooh. Rebel sniper rifle. That does so much damage. Oh my god. That is amazing. I love my bolter, but... See, that only does 9 to 14. Oh, let me compare these. So it does way more damage, better armor penetration. The rate of fire is only 1 compared to 3. The range is better, the max ammo is less, so you have to reload more likely. Ooh, just give me that sniper rifle. Yes, of course. So, let me bring that up. So, you have 3 ways to approach different things, which is dogmatic, heretical, and iconoclast. Although these things are true, my rabbit is perfectly issues, I can never change it. The most explanation I've gotten so far out of this works, but to make himself an enemy of the Empire. So, there's 3 ways to look at everything. The Empire is very much... even though the Imperium likes to think of itself as a not religious empire, it's very much a very religious empire. The dogmatic viewpoint is very simple. You follow everything of the Imperium's laws to the letter. That can mean, like, for example, you approach a heretic and instead of sparing him, you're like, execution on the spot. You disobey the orders, execution on the spot. It's very much, you follow the rules very strictly. Heretical, of course, is heretical. You're not following the Empire's ways. It could be you embrace chaos powers, you embrace the chaos, the wild side, you do things just because you like it. Heretical, it just means you're the opposite of dogmatic. Iconoclast is very different. Iconoclast is pretty much the neutral good of things. You might come across a group of heretics, and the dogmatic approach is execute them on the spot. The heresy options might be like, hey, let me join in you massacring some citizens, where the iconoclast is like, hey, surrender, I'll spare your lives. You can walk away from this. So it's the best way to put it is like, this is lawful neutral, lawful evil. This is chaotic neutral, chaotic evil. This is neutral, neutral good. If you want to put it into the way of D&D, you believe in preserving human life. Your own personal freedom. It's kind of like that neutral good, neutral class. You're all about helping people and yourself. The heretical is just about the chaos side of life, and then dogmatic is kind of lawful, neutral, lawful, evil. And then there's Puritan versus fanatic. Puritan means you follow everything as the ways of the Imperium, where fanatic means you don't follow the ways of the Imperium. You're a bit more radical in viewing things. One of the best ways to also put it is like Tactics Ogre has a system where it's not good or evil. They have law versus chaos options. Is everyone the bad guy in 40k? Yes and no. Each faction has their own little problem with it. Even the Tau, which are considered the most good faction is actually a bit evil. Let's take the Imperium. The Imperium is all about humanity first. Everything else can be wiped out. But humanity also is the one that realizes the most of all. Like, the reason they tried to get rid of religion in the first place was like, oh my god, worshiping chaos makes the chaos forces more stronger. We need to get rid of this. So they tried to do it and failed, and pretty much created a whole new religion based around the Emperor. Chaos, of course, is evil. Chaos follows, the ways of evil a bit. The Tau, which is considered the most good faction, their whole concept is for the greater good. Now, while that sounds good on paper, let's take a planet, for example. It's about to be invaded by aliens, and there's like 9 billion people on that planet. The Tau will very willingly sacrifice that planet and bomb it to asteroid dust if it means it'll save 10 billion people on another planet. For the greater good by any means necessary. Yes. For the Tau, everything's a number. You, me, everyone in Tau Empire is a number. So whatever saves the most lives, the most numbers, is going to be the path they take. So there's times where the Tau like very mercifully spare Imperium planets because they're like, hey, we're saving life here. But at the next turn, you'll be like, hey, blow that planet up because aliens are on the way. We can't protect it. It's just going to cost us too much lives to protect it. So the Tau have their own problems as well. Another one is the Eldar, the Space Elves. The Space Elves are very much good. They're so much about their personal freedom that 9 times out of 10 they turn to chaos because chaos is kind of about pursuing your own freedom, though on a radical scale. The Space Elves are also one of the reasons why the chaos are so strong. And that's one of their problems. Also, 2 problems with the Eldar is that they're very racist. Like, people joke that the Imperium is racist. The Eldar, the Space Elves, are even more racist. There's actually a funny thing. They refer to all the other races as monkey. Even though it sounds like monkey, like the animal that we have on Earth, it's a different spelling. And it's just, the lore is just so happened to be another alien race called monkey. That's like dumb brutes. That the Eldar calls that to everyone. And Imperium humans were like, hey, we take that as an insult. Don't call us apes. Then the last real 2 factions are the Necrons. Necrons are space zombies. Space zombie robots. They want to wipe out the universe, practically. So, if you're not a Necron, you're going to die to them. And then the last faction is Orcs. Orcs just want to fight. Orcs don't care about diplomacy. Orcs don't care about anything. The Orcs care about a good fight. They're also kind of space fungus. But that's all the factions. Each of them have their own good things, bad things. It's just a lot of times if you want to pick a good faction, it's technically the Imperium, because they do have Xenos in their empire. They do have mutants in their empire. Yes, everyone is part of a small gear in the grand scheme of things. But the rest of the factions are most likely going to throw you under the bus or kill you very quickly. Where the Imperium are like, we might not like you, but we'll give you a chance. Oh, speaking of orcs, one of my favorite stories is that the Tyranids are a faction. If you know Zerglings from like StarCraft, you know Tyranids. The Tyranids are a faction. They're space aliens. Everything is food to them, and that's ironically why the Necrons are like the worst enemy for Tyranids, because Tyranids are like, hey, everything's food. Everything is food for us to eat to grow, and the Necrons are space robots, and the Tyranids can't eat them. So whenever Tyranids show up to a Necron planet, the Necrons are like, hey, try to eat us, buddy. Because technically, if a Necron dies, they can just reboot it. And so Tyranids do anything they can to avoid anywhere of a Necron sector, because they're just going to lose. No matter how many bodies they throw at the Necrons, the Tyranids know they will lose. And I love that so much. And as I was saying before, though, one of my favorite orc stories is that the Tau they'll actually spend a lot of time researching the other factions, like ways that they talk, the ways they do dealings, because the Tau are like, hey, we don't have to fight if this saves lives. So like, there's times where the Tau will be with the Imperium, they'll be fighting over the planet, like, hey, ceasefire, Tyranids are on the way in about 5 years. Why don't we both stop fighting each other for these next 5 years, build up our forces, and then we can talk this out afterwards. There's been times where the Tau are like, hey, this one guy's like, hey, I understand the orc culture from left to right. I know all their words. I know all their slang. I know the handshake to do. And the Tau guy showed up to a orc base. He starts talking to him like they're one of them. The two orcs look at each other and just squash him. And they're like, he was in a good fight. Boring. And the rest of the Tau are like, what just happened? Like, we just tried talking and the orcs didn't care. And there's actually funny enough times where there's 2 or 3 times where the Tau try to talk to Tyranids and immediately are like, no, there's no talking to these guys. We gotta get rid of them. What are you gonna do? What do you mean they're talking about to my commitment to the gig? See, I was going to commit to the gig of no more streams, but you must understand, there's one thing more powerful than a moon rabbit, and that is a possibly crying satyr. Did I leave any loot? I did not.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Also says Satyr also possibly threatened Patty, so I'm actually kind of scared. Why should we change that to weekly or monthly? I don't understand. Alright, for those who have not been following Rogue Trader, we arrived on the planet and then the enemy showed up and pretty much stole the sun, causing the planet to like fall apart very quickly, so there's that. You know what might be very intimidating to you, Patty? Let me see. Let me change it for you. There we go. Oh right, they were last playing Halo 3 ODST where they didn't invite any of us to play Lasso with. Yep, that's right. That's right. Thanks be to the Emperor, you are alive, your lordship. We are most gratified by your return, and the crew is full of zeal to carry out any orders you may have. Before anything else, I hear an account of what happened to the system's sun. Lord Captain, we saw a number of the ships approach the sun, black creations of inhuman make, almagins of sharp angles and edges. They shrouded the star, and then, my apologies, but I struggle to find words that can describe the terrible sight. The Xenos made the sun vanish into the void. The tiger closed his eyes and grimaced. Drukarai. You see Ilar's expression change as his shadow suddenly falling over him. He rose his temple warily. If we did not have enough troubles on our hands already. The Xenos? I love this. Lore Xenos succeeded. The Xenos, enemies of humanity, we had to pass a check to know that when they say Xenos did this, we're like, wait, really? Xenos? They're real? I breathe the Eldari, the most cruel and devious of their kind. The design of the ship matches the description provided by the Voxmaster. Oh, by the way, of the whole about space elves, there is dark space elves as well. So, funny enough, we do have our wood elf, high elf versus drow equivalent in Warhammer 40k. Like all Xenos, Drukhari are a blight on the face of the galaxy. Ooh, did they give us actually like a good description? Yes, they're a seditious branch of the Dari race that revels in piracy, violence, and torture, which allows them to feed upon the psychic residue of their victims' suffering. Fun fact: you will see Adari, Eldar, Space Elves. They have like many names, but they all mean the same thing. It's just the Eldari are like their official title. The Eldar is kind of like their generic title when you refer to all of them. Pretty much, Elf is Adari. Eldar is Elf. Adari is High Elf. Drakrai is Drow, and then Space Elf is just another way to refer to them. Actually, yes, they do, Patty. So when I, oh my god, I love this so much. They really do. They have pointy ears. They're very thin and they're very tall. And they do have an air superiority to themselves. They view every other race as dumb, inferior, even though they're kind of one of the weakest factions right now. Like the Eldari got like smashed. The best way to compare them to is the Mass Effect. I can't think of the race name, but whatever Tali is. Pretty much the Eldari are always on the run on their planet ships. They're very weak right now. They don't really have a leader to unite them. They do have one leader, technically, who divides them because she came back from the dead once. But they still view everything... The Quarians, yes, thank you, Gaunos. But they view everything below them. Like, every race is below them, even though the Imperium is much stronger than them and can wipe them out. The Chaos could wipe them out. The Yorsk, every faction can wipe them out. The only faction that cannot wipe them out is the Necrons, because the Eldar know how to fight the Necrons. So Necrons are kind of scared of the Elves. But the Eldar just have an air superiority to them. Like, we're better than everyone. And another thing is that they don't understand, like, touch. So they do this in a very interesting way, because they live such long lives that a simple touch is too much PDA for them, because they see the act of romancing someone as a very, very, very long thing and not PDA heavy. So whenever like a human touches them, they suddenly are like backing away, like, what are you doing? This is weird. This is wrong. Calm yourself. So like instead of like where you might flirt as like two humans might, to flirt with an Eldar, you have to like take it very, very slow and say like a nice word to them every so often. Like all Xenos, the Drakrai are on the plate on the face of the galaxy, but their technological superiority is indisputable. They adore and fear warp sorcery, which is why they rely on creations of their twisted intellect. And many of those creatures are capable of things that may seem akin to sorcery to the unenlightened eye. The theft of the song is one example of what they are capable of. Are the Xenos in league with Aurora's cultists? We can rule out that possibility. Drakrai would never ally themselves with the arch enemy's worshippers. If I had to name one thing that humanity and these Xenos had in common, it'd be shared loathing of warp corruption. I was typing about any other species trying to draw my remember. It's whatever like Tali's like race is, because they like live on their ships. The Eldar are the same way. Where everyone has planets, the Tyranids have hive fleets, and then the Eldar have pretty much planet-sized ships which they call craft worlds, which they live and travel on. So the Eldar don't have actually planets they live on. It's kind of like a living ship that they live on. And like also what Henrik says here, pretty much where all these factions are at war with each other, they're all united against chaos in some form or way. Like that and Tyranids. Everyone will like actually turn and fight Tyranids or fight Chaos Marines, because where like the Tau can be reasoned with, the Eldar can be reasoned with, and the Imperium can be reasoned with. You can't. Well, technically you can reason with Orcs if both you and the Orc look at each other like, hey, that's a good fight over there. You go handle that. So everyone will actually turn and fight the Chaos Space Marines, and usually the Tyranids, because everyone's like, yeah, you can't reason with that madness or those monsters. Ernest glances around. The situation calls for immediate action, Suki. We continue this conversation later if you wish for it, but right now, he gestures at the decks teeming with tumultuous activity. I believe you should assume command. What is the current situation on board? The navigator sanctum is no longer empty, but the warp engine is still refusing to obey and sneers. Without it, we cannot perform a warp jump. Pascal's voice buzzes anxiously from his vox. It may be angry, or perhaps it is lamenting the injuries it has suffered. I will immediately initiate preparations for a prayer service. The Omnissiah grants me comprehension. I will appease the machine spirit of this vessel. Why did you not send this shuttle to the planet for me? I do apologize, your lordship, but we were unable to receive your request for evacuation. The lock's wing was overrun with vile interference, screams, blasphemous hymns, and other equally sinister noise. And you listened to the interference for a protracted period lost their sanity. Several dozen operators went mad monitoring the Voxcaster in the hopes of hearing your voice. Each one of them waited in vain. What is happening on the planet now? Augur operators are reporting numerous uprisings and other manifestations of the arch enemy's powers at various locations on the planet. Based on the fragments of communications picked up by our Fox operators, there is practically no resistance being offered by the governor's forces. Millions of people are converting to blasphemous final dawn cult en masse and assembling in prayer circles. Do you have any hopes of retaking the planet? I fear that Rickard Norris is lost. The situation is deteriorating by the minute. We must leave the planet as soon as possible. However, there are still people on the planet who have not succumbed to heresy, who are worthy of rescue. Perhaps a small number of our own shuttles. And we also have shuttles salvaged from the starport. Oh hey, Nansuki. Yes? The dark eyes of the spell sister flash. We must save as many as we can. This all happened for a reason. Say Arjuna, whose name I carry with reverence and trepidation, is famed for saving the people of a dying world through the power of prayer. The God Emperor himself sent a star from the heavens that lifted the saints and our followers up to the sky. Away from corruption and death, we must do as she did. Direct all of our efforts to saving these people who at this moment look to the heavens in hope of salvation. The lives of peasants are of little value. Our prime objective is to save the Holy Relic, the miraculous fusion reactor, and electro priests who guard and tend to it. Abelard furrows his brow. Every moment we spend in proximity to a dying world, we are putting ourselves at risk, your life, Lord Captain. Is far more valuable than all of Rickard Norris. The von Vlachtis dynasty cannot be allowed to perish, and so, lamented though it is, we must rule out the idea of any evacuation. Her eyes, like two deep dark pools, are resolutely fixed on you. The world is doomed, and its happens along with it. The experience of the star was the final nudge towards death, the finality of the cult of the final Dawn's plans. I once witnessed a similar event, a world that surrendered to the servants of the arch enemy and permitted corruption to enter too deep. At this moment, millions of people are bowing down before those who promised them salvation. They're willing to give over their souls to chaos, a sacrifice great enough to bring forth a demon world. You definitely forgot what I was going to ask. Okay. Our only hope of stopping this process is to retreat to safe distance from the planet and conduct targeted bombing of the Electro Priest's monastery. If we blow up the reactor, a thermonuclear reaction will follow. The world's oxygen will evaporate, killing off the entire biosphere. And doing this will save millions of souls from a fate far worse than death. It will save recurred minorities from becoming an outpost of the arch enemy. Whatever fate you choose for this world, I urge you to make haste, Lord Captain. The planet is burning and raging flashes of crimson and purple. I can see it even from orbit. And so I see that the storm is already upon us. For every moment that we waste, it grows even more difficult and perilous to steer the ship for the warp's turbulent currents. I'm with the lady on this. Enough talking. We need to go out of here while we can. Something lurking in the depths of your consciousness bristled at the passing thought of saving people. The spike of horror you feel take your breath away, as if you are planning to steal the prey of a mighty predator. The planet's already warped and a thread stretching out from the warp. It deserves to have a new master. Which of the planet's inhabitants can we evacuate? The nobles you rescued at the start part have given the coordinates of shelters where we can find surviving astrocats and their families. Through Sergeant Malgar's troops, they'll help to control the crowds of frightened commoners and prevent the shuttles from being overloaded. Thanks to you, we have salvaged many shuttles from starport that we can now use. Ooh. Why not can we try to evacuate at least some of the people? For the simple reason that the transformation process will soon become irreversible and our sole weapon against it useless. The energy released by the bombardment can stoke the weapon energies. I've never witnessed the aftermath of bombing a demon world before. There's enough evidence to suspense for to say with confidence that you don't want to see it. Ooh, the fusion reactor. Yeah. Any delay caused by a transparent ship will cost us precious time. Do not deceive yourself, Suki. Be dull with your vanity. You'll doom billions into eternal torment at the hands of our enemy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love these choices right here. Do not forget yourself, interrogator. One more ejection from you, and I shall forget all about the need to deliver you to Footfall alive. But I must do as I see fit. I am acting foolishly in the Inquisitor's eyes, but that is my decision to make. You detect a flicker of something beneath Hendrik's sanguineous mask. Anger, bitterness, whatever it may be, not even to the interrogator's dispassionate voice. In that case, I consider it necessary to point out that the mark of the archenemy can infiltrate the ship, along with the rescued people. Keep that in mind for the future. Consider it done. It is unlikely that our shuttles will have capacity to evacuate more people. The fusion reaction must be saved. Consider it done. This will bring us to the limit of our capabilities. We have no more shuttles to use in the evacuation effort. The bridge is uphill. The technomancer priests mixed together in a senseless cacophony, while servitors work hastily to remove a hardened crust of sacred units from the warp engine's components. In the midst of all the tumult, Pascal, with a data slate clenched in his hands, seemingly disconnected from the flurry of activity around him. Oh, I like this. Pascal, this is now you're shipping your temple, so start acting like it, you blasted cog. Crew, heed the word of Magos, Honeyman, Pascal. I kindly request that you take charge of this mess. Thank you, Worship. You are right. Pascal's voice changes when he addresses the crew. He now speaks with authority and resolve. Tech comrades, heed my instructions. The man immediately subsides, and the crew actions follow to some indescribable logic. The omniscience servants start working in sync, and the Benhara clamor becomes a symphony of reports, which Magos coordinates, like a skillful conductor. Admirably done, Pascal. Omniscience guides us. The prayers of the tech priests surrounding Cognier almost drown out the sounds of the bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over the data slate in his hands, extends a magnetron towards you. Please take your place at the Cognier, Lord Captain. Step up to it. The huge machine from you is lit with dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. Blinking lights and endless rush of symbols and digits on the green background make your eyes water, and a vague sense of alarm simmers in the depths of your mind. The typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of Messiah's creation. Among the numerous controls, you see the mouth of a cyber gargoyle, the same as the gate at the warrant chamber. Servants of the machine's god, heed my command. Acolytes, prepare the incense instructions for the liturgy of machine spirit proposition. Senior technomates, receive the prayer to generate a current data report. Operations be marked the capanological protocol of Messiah rejoice. I must inform you that for the purpose of safety, complete the assembly of the warp sextant and updating its datasmith blessings are required. This is not done, then at launch, the value of accurate calculations errors could result in destruction of the data crypt. As we do not have 100 hours at our disposal, we must omit this procedure. Professor looks down at the data slate in his hands. A minor deviation from the right of operations for the sake of appeasing the spirit. What must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the Cognier Guardian, the cyber gargoyle, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypt. The dynastic blood extracted from your veins will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it, we will offer our prayers so that we may bypass the protective protocol for defective connections and launch the warp sextant. Laws of the Messiah knows exceptions, so this ritual I remain on your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit, in whose abode you be intruded. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain, and may we receive his blessing. Metal jaws clamp down on your hand, breaking your delicate corporeal sheath, and releasing warm red liquid into its skull. At the same moment, the image on the vid screen before you changes. Connecting. What does it all mean? The sound of your voice, guiding your servant whose bronze-skulled skeleton is built into the Cognier's housing, shudders and screech. Its skull rotates towards you and then stops in that position. Beloved and code, a voice receptor. Paco emits a sequence of binary symbols and then silent for several seconds. I hypothesize that the defect is located in an analyzer block. Rescue reaction to the signal, but no process response. Temporary override is permissible. The Magos intently studies the vid screen. The shell was created on a forge world unknown to me. Initiation, standard, invocation of the machine spirit. Pascal leans over the ancient instrument panel and sets his hands on the controls. the same time, a quiet stream of machine code begins pouring from his vaults. By my authority, I revoke the invited view protocol of the warp engine. When the Cognitor's vid screen turns red, Pascal seizes and raises his hand, signaling for the rest of the text breeze. He withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Turns the Messiah, making now the offering of cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit so that may be filled with the true and collaborative data. May the Messiah have mercy on our souls. In unique solemn melody, Dr. Lights offer up their cleansed data crypts to the warp engine one after another, repeating prayers of exaltation. After annoying the controls with the sacred ungains, Pascal inserts them in the Cognitor slots. When the head begins to spin from the holy senses, foul-smelling clouds of smoke, from the loss of the blood that the cyber Golgo continues to drink from you, the world swims before your eyes. With this mechanism, awakening renewed purity, enters a sequence of commands and raises his hands, watching the vid screen. Suddenly he stops dead. No. Fingers fly over the command runes, entering command after command. His macro-darts click in their pinchers, pull out one lever and another. The screens filled with strings of symbols, completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying to the Magos. What is happening? After a few seconds, the data crypt mounted on the Cognitor begin mid-sparks. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next burst into flame gives off foul-smelling smoke. Around them, the solemn-sized servants break off from their prayers. Someone bursts into frenetic pleading. The massive errors in the warp sextant's calculations drain data raspberries. The offering did not appease his ship spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motive force. We are trapped. A moment later, Magnus continues on uncertainly. Perhaps an alternative birthing protocol, or emergency launch on the auxiliary coils. The ex-priest bends over the Cognitor, but something in his pose and movements reveals his desperation. Magos, a moment if you will. Dracos turns toward his flickering visor, betraying his anxious state. Lord Captain I stops short when he sees the vid screen. Sorted transmissions from the data core? Most likely. The rise to Cognitor functions in the built-in servitors. On the sides, shields for machine ghosts. Just manipulating the Cognitor's communion runes. Machine spirit, can you hear me? Cognitor servant creak quietly in his joints, a sound that is drowned out by the binary grins and the tapping of command runes. Input, prompt, ping, requesting response. Her injury, rescue, query, rescue, yes, machine spirit, rescue us. Lord Captain, the excess emotion you command will render it unintelligible to. Pascal's next motion goes unsynthesized, and he sees the vid screen begins to stabilize, one after another. The strings frequently gap out across the green background are placed with stable images or regularly updating your status reports. Only one monitor remains explicitly red. Text Breeze's voice crackles in shock, but his report is as clinical as ever. Record string, warp sectors activated. Record string, data stream stabilizing. Record string, 0 data errors found. Reporting the warp engine is ready for translation. After a moment, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a Category 3 miracle fulfilling criterion. Those shall witness the mechanisms that total glorification of his functions and defiance of deactivation. Lord Captain, Rafar here. The crew almost finished carrying out the orders given earlier. I just received confirmation from the engineering halls. I know what you did, but the warp engine's up and running, raring to go. We're ready to begin translation to the warp, your lordship. Lord Captain speaking. I give the order to commence translation to the warp. Waiting for you to ascend to the captain's throne, Lord Captain. May the Emperor protect us.
Von Valancia's flagship made its way out of the doomed star system. As the void ships plunged deeper into the Corona's expanse, the rogue trader's subjects bid a formal farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects, the crew gathered their strength and braced themselves for whatever was to come next.
So, one thing I want to say, whether it's Warhammer, whether it's Halo, whether it's StarCraft, the one thing I love is that our command deck has windows. I know for like space combat, that's not a wise thing to do, but I just love the idea that we just have windows in our command just so we can see things. Look, Captain, allow me to report our journey through the warp is coming to an end. The navigator, Sorio, informs that we have reached the point where we can translate to real space in the Forbidius system. Lady navigators and our pirates are waiting your permission to begin the process. The Forbidius system is home to Footfall, the only Imperium outpost with a functioning warp in the Coronis expanse. The tech priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp. They allow the service of the Messiah to expect and heal the void ship's wounds in the dock. Prayers and rituals take some time, which our Prosphatic Core will use to establish a connection with the prime worlds of your proctorate, Draconos, Janus, and Kiava Gamba. Master Zachary Wides have recorded an invitation previously adrift in the Materium. Legion of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rogue trader of the Von Vlachnis dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was, "You tinted with shades of pleading," I quote. Apparently, the Legion is anxious to meet us as soon as possible. Footfall, a place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand. Reverend Hideous Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from you. Imagine he'd be interested in talking to you as well, Suki. I'll be leaving your voice ship when we arrive on Footfall, Suki. Once that is done, consider Lord Inquisitor's task complete. Lordship, young Yvain Winterscale has asked me to convey his gratitude for your hospitality, and for saving him from certain death. Not wishing to outstay his welcome, he plans to disembark at Footfall. Lord Yvain swears he would not forget his debt to you. I hereby informed the rogue trader that during a comprehensive system inspection, this unit discovered data clusters within the captain's cognier that are sealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher and a sacrament of anchophoric authentication. Unit Suki von Vlachis have been added to the SS list and assigned the identifier Keeper 2. You can access the data from the captain's cognier provided that he possesses the description key. You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in Pascal's mechanical voice. Yeah, space windows are so silly, but they're so great. I love it. I love them so much. Current favorite bit of setting details that the banners are just scripture. Oh yeah. They'll have a bunch of banners of like coat of arms and scripture. Funny enough, Patty, and I think you like this. Whenever you see a space marine or a battle sister that has like paper stapled to their armor, it's literally like prayers from the holy book of the emperor stapled to them because they believe the scripture will give them protection. I think if you dived into like the whole like religion of the emperor, Patty, I think you would get a kick out of it for like your own campaigns. Are you leaving us, Heinrich? The arrangement between the Lord Inquisitor and your Procedure was that I'd be transported to Footfall no further. I dare not take advantage of your generosity and patience any more than I already have, Suki. I hope we meet again. True service to the Emperor are always welcome aboard my ship. I regard you with a curious look and a polite smile. An interrogator of the Inquisition seldom gets to hear such words. Thank you for your hospitality, Suki. I will not forget it. Argenta, who's this Reverend Hymus who wants to talk to me? He's the head of the Durantian mission on Footfall, and one of the most prominent clergymen in the sector. Paying him a visit is a good thing for any loyal servant of the Emperor to do. I assisted his mission before I joined Lady Theodora on her voyage. I need his blessing to accompany the new rogue trader of the Von Vlachis dynasty. If you wish to have me aboard your voyage ship, I request that we meet with Reverend Harrymus. The Emperor does protect. Victus, tell me about the system we're arriving in. Verbunius is valuable due to its close proximity to the Mall, the gateway to the Imperium. The system is mostly known for Footfall. the main base for the merchants, privateers, and rogue traders traverse the Cronus Expanse. Additionally, the star itself is ordered by the Adeptus Mechanicus station, which is off limits to outsiders. Altar Templum Claxius Exit 17. I have the honor of attending this shrine for a few thousand cycles. I just use abstain from visiting it, as most tech comrades at the station are engaged in meditative calculations that should not be interrupted. Why don't you know about Footfall? It is the largest port in the trading capital of the Cronus Expanse. It has a dockyard that allows us to inspect and repair the void ship, and boasts its own astrobotic choir, the Cronus Expanse Communications Nexus. Not to mention pirate hideouts, smaller caches, and forts belonging to a dozen gangs, groups, and factions. The Cronus Expanse, the Imperium relies on this as its outpost. The fringes of humanity do mainly resemble its central worlds. As long as Footfall serves the God Emperor, and as far as it can, it will be considered a citadel of the Imperium, though I have heard that the tips it sends are underwhelming, to say the least. Due to Footfall's remoteness, it has developed its own rules and customs. Many of the goods that can be procured there would be considered heresy in the heart of the Imperium, enough to warrant summary execution. Moreover, Footfall is the domain of the rogue traders, which rescind certain Imperial laws by virtue of the warrant they bear. Footfall is just a brief stop. What next? As soon as we solve the issues plaguing the ship and establish contact with the key worlds of your proctorate, time will come for your Assessio, the official ceremony of donning the mantle of the rogue trader. It's mostly a formality at this point. You already possess all the privileges granted by the warrant. It is a major milestone in your personal history. The moment your name graces the list of heads of the Von Vlactus dynasty, we're all looking forward to that day, Lord Captain. Abelar, do you know anything about the Legion of Footfall? Valerian Tokara is a very particular young man. Consider your upcoming conversation a baptism of fire in Footfall's political arena. Such things are not spoken out loud, but Lee Tokara is the appointee of the Kabaska mission, the largest robber baron crime syndicate in the Calxis sector. They specialize in the cold trade, the buying and selling of all kind of xeno rubbish. Footfall was previously run by Leech, who did business with several criminal factions at once, but he suffered an accident. The reins of power picked up by Vladium Takara, whose appointment benefits not only the Caspilla, but also the most powerful ally in the Crow's Expanse, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, who he just saved one of the kids. Vladrim is a slippery yet very cautious fellow. He does not usually beat around the bush and does not play mind games. Perhaps more importantly, he is no fool. Fools do not rise as high in the Caspillian hierarchy. Keep all this in mind. You are a rogue trader. You stand above him in status, and with considerable power. Having said that, history has seen cases where the Kabaskian barons cross swords with rogue traders and emerge victorious. Do not forget that. Remain vigilant. The Caspalian, vile tech thieves. Why does the Liege want to see me so badly? Not you personally. He wishes to meet with the rogue trader of the Von Vlactus dynasty. Jakar does not know about Lady Theodora's death and simply seek an audience with the powers that be. My guides tell me that something must be very wrong with Footfall if our astropath has managed to read such strong emotion, such an anodyne message. We have no information, Lord Captain. Broadcast from the Footfall Astropathic Core was only the missive Master Zachary has received lately. Tell the navigator I give her leave to make the translation from the warp into real space. Visuals begin issuing commands. The massive ship begins to change in every word. The bridge is set in motion as hundreds of people start to prepare for the ship to real space. Measure chanting fills the quarters to safeguard the vessel and its crew. They just return to you. One more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Lady Theodora's demise, and you inheriting the title. Liege Tokar will be informed if it is required, so we can use the dock and besides. He is expecting a personal audience with the rogue trader. He will not meet with a known person of clear standing. However, there is also the matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive at the station with the proper pomp and ceremony, or choose to visit incognito. Tell me in detail how these choices will benefit me. According to Footfall's unwritten laws, rogue traders enjoy special privileges that exceed even the power of the Liege. However, they may choose not to exercise these privileges in certain situations. And arriving incognito will give you more room for maneuvers, while the official visit will allow you to directly intervene in local affairs. Hello, Crown. I shall explain if you do not mind. As per this unwritten rule, every rogue trader arriving at the station has the right to veto any of the League's decisions. Holy shit. But there's a cast. The Cronus Expanse is home to several evolutionary rogue trader dynasties, and Footfall is where the interests intersect. Of course, this does not prevent certain persons, namely Caligos Winterscale, from subtly pulling the strings of Footfall. If you as a new rogue trader start your career with an official landing and a parade in your honor, The other dynasties may see this sketch as a newcomer challenging their spheres of influence. I do not see this as a bad thing necessarily. Old Man Winterscale may take slight offense. Corda will be put on her guard, but you've just risen to prominence, and most people in the Cronus Expanse have not even heard about Leia Theodora's departure yet. It must be made clear that this banner of Von Flach's soars as high as ever. If I may, I would recommend arriving incognito. You have plenty of opportunities to savor the sweetness and the burdens of power, but right now is the last time you can take refuge in obscurity. This way your arrival will not draw much attention, and the people treat you as a person, not the almighty sovereign, no, but the emperor. It could turn in some situations to your advantage. I love this. You can choose to be like, I want to arrive on the station with just no pomp, no nothing like that. Or you could be like, no, I want the people to know who is here. And I feel like that's what I would do is, no. Tell them officially, I am here. It will be done, Lord Captain. Famous spouse again. With your gracious permission, I will return to my duties. Ooh. Checking your message. Give me 1 second. I'm trying. 30 minutes of shoveling. Still snowed. Ooh. That's not good. Someone I want to talk to. Pascal. Oh, yep, there's Abel.
The Messiah knows all, comprehends all.
I want to know the truth about you.
The request is approved. I did conceal certain information. I was a student of Archmagus Amanat, but I committed an act of betrayal after he deviated from sacred dogma.
Can I just say, I love that for the tech priest, they did their best to make him sound like he's actually talking from a computer. I love the tiny details so much in this game. What did Armament do?
He fell into schism and challenged the sacred boundaries of knowledge. The blessed Amanat claimed the limits of what is permitted must be expanded, because by refusing to explore certain law, we find ourselves in contempt of the seventh universal law. Comprehension is the key to all things. My mentor put forth a thesis claiming that we have stagnated, that ritual is now nothing but a cage for souls and forced worship of the Omnissiah. He sought to break the cycle of mindless repetition because he saw the inevitable demise of our faith and all humanity at the end of it.
Certain aspects of the pyramid of deed ossified. His argument sounds reasonable.
This statement is false. My mentor's words sound like heresy. Limits were established because it is dangerous to venture beyond. Each step past them could lead to a bloody slaughter, but the blessed Amanat was not afraid.
So how did you betray him?
The teachings of the blessed Amanat spread, and word of it reached the conclave of the Cognizance fleet. They recognized his teachings as tech heresy. Many tech priests suddenly vanished or were subjected to servo penance for minor transgressions. The students of Amanat, whose number included many enlightened and respected brothers, resisted. My prognosis showed that our most likely future was a schism and a fratricidal war that would destroy the Cognizance fleet. That was when I headed to the Conclave. I confessed and handed the information about my mentor's research over to the Conclave. Brazen, anathematic studies of the Forbidden Law. The Conclave could use that data to summon Archmagus Amanat to stand trial and compel him to repent on pain of excommunicate Traitoris. His subsequent fate is unknown to me.
So you betrayed your mentor. You act as the lowest of the Imperium. Yeah, so you betrayed your mentor?
This statement is true. However, I took this step out of loyalty to my mentor. He rejected caution and was leading us to a blasphemous war where he would become the first and most important victim. I did not want to witness his destruction and tried to force him to submit. I wanted to return to my mentor and share his fate, but the Conclave found me repentant and sent me to the station Alter Templum Calixis EXT-17, where I was to atone for my previous transgressions.
You act as the lowest of the Imperium should.
I pray that the Omnissiah grants us wisdom to overcome the dialectic differences that divide us.
So why did you go to Rickard Minorius?
I was summoned there by a message that was encrypted with the Blessed Amanat's personal code, and could it be interpreted in several ways. One thing was certain: we were in danger, and I had to go to Rycat Minoris.
Tech priest named Abel. Who is he?
Assessing his personality is difficult. The spirit of Brother Abel is different from that of most people. Tech comrades of the Cog call such persons quiet ones. He possesses significant intellect, but shuns communication. He fell into schism and challenged the sacred boundaries of knowledge. The Blessed Amanat claimed the limits of what is permitted must be expanded, because by refusing to explore certain law, we find ourselves in contempt of the seventh universal law. Comprehension is the key to all things. My mentor put forth a thesis claiming that we have stagnated, that ritual is now nothing but a cage for souls and false worship of the Omnissiah. He sought to break the cycle of mindless repetition because he saw the inevitable demise of our faith and all humanity at the end of it.
What are you going to do next?
I was wrong when I assumed it was the Blessed Archmagos Amanat who assumed the guise of Abel Haneman. But there is a connection between him and the Reverend Abel, and I intend to uncover the nature of this link. Acknowledged. I will return to ruminating on the search for the Blessed Amanat.
Tell me more about the Adeptus Mechanicus.
I am honored to belong to the priesthood of Mars. Guided by its tenets, we safeguard technology against the impure and the unenlightened.
Why did you mention Mars?
That is where the cult of the Omnissiah originated, and where we were granted the first revelations. Many millennia ago, we made an alliance with the Emperor of Terra, and have served the Imperium ever since, paying a tribute of machinery, weapons, and void ships.
So this is where things get really funny with the Imperium. The Adeptus Mechanicus are both part of the Imperium and both not a part of the Imperium. And the reason is that years ago, like millions of, not millions, like not in the 40K, but like not even the like even before the 30K, there was something called the Terra Unification Wars, where like the humanity was like slowly starting to like spread out of its solar system. They gave Mars to a priesthood of like a tech priest to like build weapons. Like, hey, all we need you to do is build us weapons and use this planet as you see fit. So they give him Mars. Well, as time went by, there was like multiple civil wars that broke out, like a huge one that broke out where like Mars actually turned to the side of evil for a bit, but then came back. They struck the deal with the Empire, like, hey, we will fix your weapons, we will keep your ships running, but you let us do our own thing on our planets. And the Emperor was like, deal. So but the thing is that the Omnissiah is the Emperor in their eyes. They see that the Emperor is like the prophet when it comes to their worship of the machine spirits. So like, they don't follow the Empire's rules a lot of times. They kind of do their own thing, but they also follow the Emperor's law as word. It's a very interesting thing where like the Adeptus Mechanicus are both part of the Imperium and also technically not a part of the Imperium at the same time. Which has caused multiple arguments at times where Space Marines would try to work with Tech Priests, because the Tech Priest is like, hey, we're not going to listen to your guys' orders. And the Space Marines is like, what do you mean you're not listening to our orders? It's like, our leader is the Emperor, not you. And the Space Marines is like, yeah, but that's our leader as well.
Everything that bears the blessed seal of machinery comes from our hands, and it is we who make sure the operating rituals are performed as they were meant to. We are everywhere. We are the Mars-forged steel bars that give the Imperium strength.
What do you mean you guard? It's not buried treasure. It's not a secret.
It is both a treasure and a secret. Technology is how the divinity of the Omnissiah manifests itself in this world. This is why the uninitiated may only be allowed to touch the most vulgar and mundane of its instances. We, on the other hand, are authorized to use the sacred catechism of maintenance and operation. Although there is another reason to deny lay people the sacrament of knowledge, it can be dangerous. Twisted by renegades, the Omnissiah's wisdom is called heretic, and the exposure to it may corrupt the uninitiated. Another danger is knowledge strangely interpreted and inscrutably twisted by the minds of the Xenos. This vein is called xenotech.
Banning things you cannot understand is the opposite of seeking knowledge. Technology is merely a tool that can be employed without risk by a wise wielder.
That is a bold hypothesis. And yet the Omnissiah teaches us that a dauntless mind can penetrate any knowledge through analysis. Where the ignorant see heresy, the enlightened might see truth.
You hold a high position in fraternity?
This electu indicates that I am a Magos, who has mastered the sacraments of many spheres of knowledge, and has the right to conduct services in a forged cathedral.
What is this? What is the Omnissiah in your understanding?
He is the divine mechanism, the maker of technology. The universe was made to resemble a mechanical marvel because the Omnissiah rules over it. Knowledge is the highest form that he uses to manifest in the world. For now. Someday, he will come to this world in the absolute fullness of his splendor. The Adeptus Mechanicus worshipped the Emperor. He is the earthly manifestation of the Omnissiah, who brought humanity into the light of divine grace.
What is behind the Adeptus Mechanicus infusion for replacing flesh with augmentations?
Organic tissue is an imperfect replica of the machine, transient and vulnerable. Metal is more stable, more effective, and more durable. Flesh speak is flawed next to biheric language. Meat begets weakness. It softens the mind and undermines discipline. But you can replace metal when it wears down. In addition, a machine is a supreme form of knowledge, and by assuming mechanical form, we become closer to the Omnissiah. However, like all things sacred, our augmentations must not be defiled by the eyes of the ignorant. Which is why we reveal only the crudest of tools, while holier mechanisms remain concealed beneath our crimson robes.
I'm curious to see your augmentations.
The right to witness the miracle of flesh being fused with holy metal is granted only to those who have ascended to the rank of initiate. However, your lofty status of rogue trader allows me to make a partial exception and reveal my sacred stigma.
Pascal very parts of the robe scarlet folds in the chest. You see emaciated white meat gnawed through by metallic shunts and flexible wires. Blood runs through transparent pipes etched with the nutrients required by the pallid flesh. The sight of a body transformation to appends to an incredibly complex mechanicism, but using a family of ancient blueprints, is mesmerizing. Every component of this machine serves the dual purpose of preserving life Pascal's fragile flesh, preventing all threats to his well-being. Ooh. The Omnissiah has been generous to you. His creation is keeping you safe from death.
The Omnissiah has been generous to you too. He has granted you understanding.
You have a strange way of speaking. That's because the augmentation does your faith dictate how you should express yourself.
Partially true. I had a voice modulator implanted alongside the respiratory purification module, but there is an additional reason. Gothic is not my first language. I am used to thinking and making statements in lingua technis. The binaric language is more informative, more ergonomic, and less prone to misinterpretation.
I have no more questions.
Acknowledged. The request is approved. I have no outright restrictions on disclosing this information.
Where are you from?
Information about my origins is worthless. I belong to the priesthood of explorators and came to the Coronis Expanse over 200 years ago. Any events preceding that moment are insignificant.
How'd you end up in the Expanse?
I was honored to become a member of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet. When the Adeptus Mechanicus summoned the faithful for an exploratory venture into the depths of the Coronis Expanse, I joined the fleet in fulfillment of my sacred vows of comprehension.
Why are you not with the fleet then?
After I betrayed Archmagus Amonat, the fleet conclave directed me to the orbital station, Alter Templum Calixus EXT-17, for penance. This venerable temple station was founded in the early years of our expansion into the Coronis Expanse. It is currently a rear observation post of the Cognizance Fleet in orbit around the star Furibundus.
Who are explorators?
The sacred fraternity of explorers. The cult Mechanica sends us out to the frontiers of the known sectors as researchers and conquerors. We are the warriors of the Code, who return to the lost worlds and devote themselves to recovering the lost ancient knowledge. Explorators are granted the privilege of being more independent than many of our tech comrades. However, it has earned us a reputation as unstable and poorly controlled troublemakers whose unorthodox views are dangerously close to apostasy.
Tell me about your
They
mechanic
are
droids.
my younger brothers and guides on the way to the Omnissiah. Their machine spirits are directly bound to my neocortex and pick up impulses from my subconscious. Sometimes they act ahead of my thoughts. This is how the Omnissiah leads me to comprehension.
You can stop there.
Acknowledged. May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Can I talk to Abel? person you saved from Lecter Priest Monastery, the servant of Messiah who called himself Abel Hanneman, started staring intently at a cognitive vid screen. Wires connected to the sacred computing machines to augment inside the prayerfully bowed heads of murmuring servitors. Abel looks up at you. After a lengthy silence, he looks away and stays stiffly. The Messiah knows all, comprehends all. How are you feeling, Abel? Tech Priest stares intently at his feet for a while and says in a halting voice, the running the Bidharic protocol was bogged down and solved in false commands. The filter has separated the connect signals from the incorrect. The running has been restored to his swiftness. Pascal speaks softly as though trying to match the inflections of Abel's voice. The Tech Priest Abel has passed the diagnosis. The pernicious influence of sacrilege procedures have been completely eliminated. Statistically, most survivors of this symptomatic infestation are left with severe cognitive impairments. However, Tech Priest Abel's mind, being of less typical nature, has not been damaged to such a great degree. Tech Priest Abel, are you free from possession? Are you not? I trust that you pose no threat to my ship. Abel's voice quivered and eyes dart around, in desperately avoiding eye contact. What was followed has not been purged. The shadows the hunt linger. The cog is dismounted, and no judgment has been made. In the absence of the judgment, threat remains. Who will make the judgment? I will. Pascal places his Mac joint on Abel's shoulder and repeats, his voice heavy like a wheel tread, crushing the dirt underneath. I will make the judgment that will avert the threat. His gaze falls on you. There's no need to frighten him. I will not try to give it. Oh, I accidentally chose so. I assumed at first it was caused by the shock inflicted upon his system by the disguising attack. My tech brother's words are a sign of a deeper reason for his unease. He foresees something that threatens both him and all those around him. Thus, I stand ready to face the threat. What judgment do you speak of? Only he knows, but if my tech brother fears that he might not make the right decision at the critical moment, that will do it for him. You care for him as you truly your younger brother. Passive raps a tired laugh. Tech brother Abel is harmonious, and harmony is beauty. So he trains an urge to protect beauty from the horrors of the grotesque. Why do you and Pascal have the same name? Abel freezes from his vox is barely audible for the static of his words. The naming of the names is not indexed to the test. The naming of the names is the text. Hello, Val. Yes, I'm using this model. Long story short, I had to redeem for one of my mods to see if he would press the button. I ended the stream and came back with this model. It is very fun. It has floppy ears. Abel's answers can be dynamic. His mind works differently from ours. He thinks in harmonic imagery and notices the symmetries and proportional relationships in the world. We love big floppy ears here. We do love big floppy ears. Watching him flop around has been amusing for me quite a bit. Poetry would be the closest analogy to how he perceives and interacts with reality. I never imagined there could be poets among the tech priests. Pascal looks surprised. Why not? Technoligna is mythical and possesses a broad systematic scope, and some of its more sonorous dialects lend themselves well to individual and symphonic declamation. Pascal, do you understand what Abel is referring to? Negative. However, I hypothesize. Tech brother Abel is seeking to convey the idea that our matching identities are not the key to some vital data point. They are, in and of themselves, the vital data point. At this stage in my analysis, I can draw no useful conclusions from this proposition. However, the very fact that Tech brother Abel is trying to hint at something points to him either being informed that and I am, or having conducted a more in-depth analysis of the situation. This is useful information. Abel, could you please explain what you mean? Abel relaxed a little. His gaze drifts to the side. There is silence. Are you overthinking it? It doesn't matter why your names are the same. What matters is that they are the same. Is that what you mean? It looks sideways at you, then once the transfix super is gone. At this point in time, the cycle has been broken and reshaped into a rising spiral, as Armament envisioned. On hearing his mentor's name, Pascal lets out a raspy static-filled sigh. They are connected. My hypothesis regarding Abel's connection to the blessed Armament has been confirmed. What are you working on? Hello, Crown, again. And Rin. We catch the soul of the light in the solar wind. We look for the footsteps that Amsai left when he walked the desert. This is the one romantic computation procedure. The personalized minds of those machine spirits are in a data stream, processing enormous arrays of sorted data and aggregating them. Virtually all results of such synthesis are scrap data. Occasionally, we have noted coincidence whose exactness defied logic. It is an extremely rare and ventilated form of staggered augury. Tech Breeze Able is adept at the form appealing to the Deus Mechanicus. Look for logical connections with data. Most of the runes are devoid of any meaning, but you notice a few among them that combine to formulate in complicated graphs. He peers at you inquisitively, then shifts his gaze to the vitrine. You can swear that a smile lights up his face after his raspberry augmented. Oh, chat's blasting off now. There's Rin, there's a Val, there's a Crown, there's a Patty, there's a Saku. Everyone's going crazy. A crystal is quiescent in clear water. Deviation from the cycle's trajectory has been increased, as was Armanet's wish. Abel lowers his head in his voxizer, broadcasts a binaric hymn you do not recall having heard before. The sound is full of vibrant energy, and its precise rhythm is nothing short of pleasing to the ear, a rare thing for the language of the Depus Mechanicus. Pascal exclaims with expo air of pride. Tech Brother Abel has decided to dedicate a lesser aria to you. The piece is distinguished by a high degree of acoustic harmony, and is fit for use as a motto, auxiliary fire et. I thank you for this generous gift. The gift is disproportionate, but it does signify personal affinity. Why do you do it? It's how we execute the quest for knowledge in the hope that the machine's God grants us epiphany so we may discern a logical connection to a mass of sort of data which will propel our comprehension forward. Hair has been removed from Isotor's head. Okay. Abel goes back to intently watching calculations, eyes lit with curiosity. Make me say a line. I'm Goofy Goober. There you go, Patty. I will try to mimic your voice, but I don't know if I can go that deep. Because you do have like a very deep, gruffy voice, like, I am a Goofy Goober. Because you do have that deep, gruff voice, and I don't know if I can mimic it too well. To hear what Abel said, it seems we have contributed to Armanet's design and deviated from the cycle. What does that mean for you? A low guttural sound fries from the depth of Pascal's voice tips, as though the planet's tectonic plates are shifting and crushing each other. The mighty rumble brings forth words imbued with power. Yes, there is so many lovelies. We must follow a path charted by a great mind, but that path leads to dark places. The cycle has an advantage of predictability. Abandoning will plunge the collective into a perilous space of uncertainty, which will eventually lead to disasters and the risk of universal annihilation. The doctrine of discontinuing the cycle may herald good things to come, or it may be a death sentence. Only the Messiah knows all and comprehends all. Others are more prophets who interpret his wisdom as far as their comprehension permits. As far as the status quo is, as helpless survived for past 10 millennium, therefore it is effective. Furtive view of our laws tests the truth of your words. The knowledge of this ancient is above questioning. However, drawing the line between the ancients and the fallible ones have followed in their footsteps is no easy task. There's doubt in the tech priest's voice. The sounds of thundering profoundly drains from Pascal Voss, giving way to familiar sibilants. I must take my leave. Abel immediately looks away as he lost all interest in you, but then his vox crackles, very audible. I am glad to see you. Aww. Who did I want to see? That's just a servitor. Idra, do you have anything new to say to me? When Idra sees you, her lips curve into a smile, and she nods at something over your shoulder. You seem to have a very strong reaction to what Argenta said by the broken lens.
It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch.
I like that phrase. She seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking.
After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? I saw several roads, and all of them frightened me.
And what does it all mean?
If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person, you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit.
Maybe we should warn her?
Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her? Or maybe the danger's coming from her.
Awareness test succeeded. Jude's voice full of amnosty, but he also detected concern, even a hint of pity and compassion. I must take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Okay, interesting. Alright. The High Fractum Generous Dunrak greets you with a cool smile and the merest hint of a bow. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance? Have you heard the name Fiery Reckoning? From what I can tell, is a void ship of some sort. Jarens thinks for a moment, pursing his lips in concentration. I'm afraid it is not immediately familiar to me, your lordship. Please allow me a moment. He starts rapidly tapping on the screen of his data slate. I say, House Loctus did indeed sign a contract with the owners of a vessel with the designation Fiery Reckoning. No transactions, records of the ship picking up cargo from Clava Gamma. This is odd. Data log ends there. Apparently the ship has some interaction with one of the workshops in the industrial world. I beg your pardon, lordship, but that is the extent of the assistance I can provide you in regards to this particular matter. Where is the option? I shall wait your instructions. Let's see, I'm gonna check out this. The reflections of the bridge lights are playing on the unlit screens of the Cognitor. Next to the machine stands a hunched tech priest who bows at your approach. His body near folding in half. Lord Captain, the machine spirit of the mechanism slumbers. Should you wish awakening, use the key of your blood. Who are you and what is your purpose here? My destination is IH-630. Tech points to Zolian Mandrite at the machine beside him. Fahrenheit and Sneer Prime has entrusted the sacred mechanism into my care. It is now my duty to assist in the rogue trader's understanding of the hallowed code. What is the blood key I'm supposed to use? The key you seek is dynastic. The dynasty blood that runs in your veins is the only way to rouse this Cognitor's machine spirit. Enjoy your lurk. When you're ready to do so, place your hands in the mouth of the Guardian Servitor on the bus control panel. The Servitor's powerful jaw clenched around your hands with a screeching clack. Feel the cold metal pierce your skin and draw blood. The vid screens in front of you flicker restlessly, filled with numerical combinations. The priest by the Cognitor nods curtly. The sacred mechanism is awake and ready to receive your request, Lord Captain. Pascal has informed me that the system has encrypted data stored inside. I wish to know its contents. Without another word, Tech Priest returns to the Cognitor. He raises his hands in a prayer of binary code, pours out the Vox device. The server motors in the bowls of the machine grow wilder. The daunting hum, responding to his chant. Numerical combinations run down the screens. The machine spirit has discovered numerous critical errors. The data is damaged. Tech Priest stops abruptly, and the green glow of his visor narrows. Understanding the intact segment, the machine spirit has spoken. The worlds of Gamma and Darkness hold certain data respirators. The mechanism is ready to provide the rogue trader with data keys that can unlock said repositories. What data? This remains hidden. The encrypted data bank belongs to the esteemed Fedora von Vlachnes. She was the only one who could have known about these repositories. Perhaps the former Engineer Prime also could have known. I'm the Messiah accept this code. If I were to propose a hypothesis, the most prudent of a figure as eminent as a rogue trader to store classified data. The receptacle is most secure. If I accept these keys. The gracious machine spirit is willing to transfer the data key to the head of the House Vlachnes by means of electro hyperdomic tattoo augment. If you're ready to accept the keys, place your hand inside the servitor's mouth. Even within the servitor's dark color, unseen burning hot needles pierce your wrists. The sharp pain only lasts a moment. The electrode that has been planted inside your wrist should be enough to open the repository doors. I need to know more about the cache. The Omside favors you. The machine spirit is willing to condense the calculation procedure to restore the lost data. Restore the data on the cache located on Darkonis. The machine hums louder until it lets out a resounding cackle, then the sound stops and an unmoving numerical combination lights up on the screen. Tech Priest Smith's voice sounds almost concerned. The data has been restored, but it's only a slight single phrase. The Itanians of the motive force. That's all the sacred mechanism was able to salvage. I am interested in the catch on Gyavagama. The servitor's motors within the Cognitor pick up the pace, their heavy thrum growing louder. The machine clicks gracefully for several minutes, until eventually a numerical code appears on the screen. Tech Priest turns to you. Thus are the Messiah's deeds. The Professorian Gyavagama security system guarding it. The machine spirit has recovered a code that will allow you to disable the defenses. I have other questions. Has the Tech Priest of the Deathless Mechanicus been able to discern how the ship was able to start? Warp engine. Engineer Prime spends hours pursuing the quest for knowledge in hopes of comprehending the nature of said miracles, and may that psionic grace guide him on this journey. There's no doubt it was a miracle sent by the Messiah as a manifestation of his will. The Engineer Prime managed to perceive some logical connection within the streams of data. I am not privy to the connection, but the Seer Prime will surely share this new discovered knowledge with you in the detailed report. Remember who you are. Dave McCann's available. Yep. Abelard, do you have anything new for me?
Lord Captain,
I'm discovered there are cache left by Fedora somewhere on Diagnostic Kiavagana. Do you know anything about this?
it is wise for a rogue trader to have caches where they can safely store important information. And utterly unwise to share the coordinates of such caches with anyone. Even one's most trusted associates. I'm afraid I do not know how to find the caches, but I can offer some help. Your predecessor used this numeric code to deactivate certain defense systems in her service. If I know Lady Theodora as well as I think, then I'm quite certain that she left her caches well guarded. In that case, this code will be useful to you.
Do you have a code? Look, have the ship informed me of our imminent meeting. Have the Vox Bears brought you anything interesting lately? Maybe interested to know that a group of officers discussing grim rumor at lunch. Where is it that the apparition of Lord Captain Theodora has been sighted on board lately? That she heard right, that they say she's haunting the decks, dragging wayward crew members off into oblivion. This quiet is spread throughout the ship, as the anomaly has been reported in different sections, sometimes entire kilometers apart. Voxmaster leans closer to you. Master Hendrix von Klax expressed interest in our communication station in the Voxnest a short while ago. Terragare appears to be very well versed in the matters of secret technology, and it worries me. Vander's knowledge in his line of work is capable of discreetly planting his own devices in our systems. We are vigilant, Lord Captain, but you should try to be more careful as well. I would live to serve, Lord Captain. Is there anyone down here? Oh yeah, Cassian, Ruby.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Alright, nothing new.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Ruby. Argenta, anything new?
Greetings.
Alright, nothing. River, anything new? Do you know anything about the ship named the Fiery Reckoning? I heard the name, that much I'm sure of, but I can't recall the details. Huh. I wonder if it was part of the operation the late Mort was put in charge of. If it was, then there's nothing I can tell you, Lord Captain. The whole thing was kept under wraps. Best chance would be to talk to the High Factory, and maybe some of his treasury records have mentions of the Fiery Reckoning. Lord Captain? Oop, Hendrix is right there. Hendrix looked at you intently, his head tilted. I know nothing about Hendrix. Can you tell me a little about yourself?
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
A night world. Don't really see this often. Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
How did you discover your abilities?
Like many psychers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great-aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me, and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great-aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
I expected a more dramatic story. Woof. I do know I'm more surprised at the absurdity of the story, the fact that you're capable of such a show of emotion. Oh boy. Ah, God. Those are both just like stabbing it in at him. Sorcerer's powers are truly dangerous. I hope you have mastered your abilities since then.
When I arrived on Holy Terra and was tested, I was found to be suitable material for becoming a sanctioned psyker, able to bend his curse to his own will. I can assure you that the adepts of the Astra Telepathica were right in their assessment.
Tell me more about the Black Ship.
Picture a vast prison ship, filled with frightened, angry psychers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers. Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Let's talk about something else. How long have you been served in the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
You visit many roads during your service, I'll wager.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares to the majesty of Holy Terra, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the segment's other worlds.
What duties have been carrying out for the Inquisition?
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
For someone who's been in service for many decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
Let's change the subject.
Gladly.
You're not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I've never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I have been working alone.
Are there any other acolytes in the Expanse? If you're interrogated, what does that mean? You hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Why are you alone in stones without family and friends? Didn't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it. Such as?
What can you do as a psyker?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of Chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Alright, that's all I have to say. Alright, and we should land, probably. I don't think there's anything we have to do in our quarters, but I'll double check. Okay, yep. Okay, yep. We're going to land on Footfall then. Look, Captain. Reverse voice over the Vox sounds wary, rather annoyed. I'm getting reports of several ships moving towards us. Judging by the fact they're not responding to our hills, and temperature shows a trail of macro batteries, they're not here for a chingwag. Ready to issue orders to prepare for battle at your command. On my order, I'll say get ready for void combat. And we're getting some ship combat. Awesome. One thing I should have done. I should have done the post. Yep. I should have done the post thing, but I didn't. That's fine. I should do that afterwards. Can I hit the any attack? I can't. I can move you here. Wait, did this always have a text input? Yes, it did. I heard the show comment. It's very fun from what I've been able to try. What? Ooh, host mode. What do I want to do? Do you want to? You know what, Sakusan? I think we should talk about you a minute because you did redeemed host mode. I think that you're doing so great with your year anniversary. I was very enjoyable hearing you answer all the questions, and almost start a war with between Sakura as well as Patty, between their Nemesis war. But I think you should give yourself a bit more credit. Look, my favorite redeem for host mode is always Folly. I don't think I hit you with anything. Yeah, you're way out of range, so... Okay, buddy. You're lucky I can hit you, buddy. There we go. Make a full U-turn right here. Can I hit you with that? Just enough. There we go. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is assign posts. Supreme Commander. So it gives us a swing run. Master Grenadier is going to be... She has an expedition reload. Reload all back cannons that were fired during the acceleration phase. Okay, that's going to go to her. Shield Master is going to be you by far. Master Maneuvers is going to be Abelard. He has a new heading. Shallow Jump will be very useful. There we go. Now we can actually do some more abilities. Alright. Look out, the station airlocks have been sealed from the inside. The box recording stating that the priest of the altar Templus Calaxis X-17 secretaries no desire to communicate with the laity, refusing access to guests on the basis that this mechanic is privilege and loyalty, grant them a soldier, tradition, or their sacred sites. Nothing worth here on this ship. Once we land in Footfall, I think that's where we'll end it. Look, Captain, we have the flagship during this blessing with a small escort dead ahead. They are requesting direct Vox channel, patching you through. The Vox channel clicks, and after a brief pause, a dry, low voice hails you. Greetings, Lord Captain. Honored to speak with the rogue trader of House von Flockness. May your name be known for the ages. Chartist Captain Agarius Forfast, bearer of a free charter of the merchant fleet. How can I be of service? What is Squadron doing here? We deliver supply routes for Chartist. You see, my ship is representative of the merchant fleet. In this part of Imperium territory, it would not have a fixed charter defining trade route. Our mission is to establish business contacts with woodfarers in need of regular ship repairs. Those are interested in specialized goods. From where do you source the components you sell? Are you asking to disclose our suppliers to you? Well, frankly, they come from both everywhere and nowhere. We get our wares either from lucky voidsmen who stumble upon and abandon our depleted ship somewhere in a neighboring system, or from unlucky ones whose sorry tub rides in Footfall in such a state that it's easier to take her apart and restore it. I'd like to know more about the merchant fleet. For the most part, all of the expenses here is different fleets of different organizations, small fleets and merchant ships. Uninterrupted communications between worlds is a matter of life and death for many outposts of humanity. So even in the dark corner of Imperium, there are charters and ships aside to various adeptus alas. Expanse has next to no stable trade routes, so the job can be precarious at times. And again, no one's more intimately familiar with the hardships of local commerce than a rogue trader. I'm gonna take a look at what you got. Ooh, we can get some new ship components. And I don't think we have anything tradable for you, because you're looking for Necron stuff as well as pirate stuff. Okay. Void shield array, prototype. We already have this. Nothing's gonna change, really. The Mizora lance weapon. Long-range lance weapon dealing... Ooh. Torpedo tubes capable of firing 4 plasma torpedoes. Class 1 drive. Ooh, more speed or acceleration. I also like how the ship does change with it. I just like the idea of torpedoes. Yeah, I love Imperium ships. They're just very nice. You actually get 3 different options when you first start the game. They give you 3 different options of like what ship you want to pick. The Lordship, something sinister is unfolding among the survivors from Micromurus. There has already been several cases of evacuated refugees either found dead or dying, of them been blind using various means. I fear there is reason to believe that there were agents of the occult among the people who came on board. I knew the feeling could not fully release its hold on those doleful souls. Just yet, let's march and drive it away. Give me a proper report of refugees. How were they recorded? How were they who supervised? The serfs and planetary wardens were assigned to 2 auxiliary lower decks. The commoners were rifled up and were frightened by the calamity, so they keep their sustenance in check, being assigned those of sound mind to work in pump settings, gas through ventilation, the compartments holding the rest. Veterinary Praetorian Dare Level 6 Retinue took refuge in one of the engineering base, or more accurately, they barricaded themselves in. The wise servers on site are fearful beyond measure that ordinary lay people might damage the defend or make careless fusion reactors. They coalesced themselves in their own personal fortress. Need to know more about the killings? 11 bodies have been found thus far. The first victim has their eyes burned out with a gas torch, and the second had acid splashed in their face. The third was found wandering around, their last legs, and with metal pins sticking out of their eye sockets. They died before we could interrogate them. The rest were killed and figured in similar ways. If you're blind, no trace of the killer's identity was found. Begin interrogations. It will be done, your lordship. Right here, inject. There is no need. Interrogations have already been conducted. I put the enforcers on alert as soon as the first body was discovered. But I decided not to disturb your lordship until I had the results. Well, now I do. We have already arrested, let's see, 4 perpetrators at the scene of crimes and have yet to take place. Those are not murders, they are suicides. Explain yourself. People apprehended were about to blind themselves and end their own lives. I am confident that those who perished did the same. Question, they all said the same thing. They were haunted by the sight of the dying Rickard Norris. Even in their sleep, they would see the same horrific pictures, so they said sad wretches could do the nightmares stop. Ooh. Perform cleansing rituals. Certainly, Lord Captain. In fact, I'm afraid it's not just refugees. 3 out of the 4 people were tested were members of the crew. They watched recruiters die and left their minds scarred. We all bear the mark of that dark catastrophe. It was the tension of the ruinous powers that branded our very souls. May the God Emperor have mercy on us. You were warned, Lordship, as regrettable they did not listen. Alright, and once we land, no... Ooh, actually, yeah, Idra is... Because Henrix leaves the team, that is right. I forget about that. The welcome procession is not particularly long, but this has attracted attention. Everyone is dressed in their finest apparel. Every button gleaming, standing in front of the others is a woman with clearly expressive implants. She bows in a solemn courtesy. Rogue Chair, Footfall welcomes you on behalf of the Liege, Lord Vladimir Tukara. Allow me to express my joy at your arrival. We should lead you at his residence, but should you have other business documentation, I'll be honored to serve as your guide. Cassia's lips curl slightly. This is so familiar. Behind the amber colors scattering of words of welcome, far less appealing cues lurk, murky and deluded. Look of someone accustomed to the line hiding their attentions. Someone's coming. They're coming for us. Watch out, Lord Captain. Abel sighs and casually places his hand on his weapon. Who's coming? Judging by the voices, there's a lot of them. Angry. They got teeth, but they aren't that sharp. Their strength is their numbers. Pray, what are you talking about? What could you mean by such a cryptic pronounce she doesn't get to say the rest?
Hey, newcomers! How's this for a warm welcome? Take a knee and bow before me.
Brace yourself.
Ooh. Malediction of Rickard Norris. Interesting. I don't know if I can do. I can't do your level ups because we're in a battle. That's a shame.
careful not to cross my gaze. I am a navigator.
No!
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
The scriptural process function successfully terminated. Cogitation failed.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we start, they're like, "Hey, it's so welcome to have you." And then a gang showed up and was like, "How's this for a warm welcome?" And shot our warm welcoming people.
Me, if you insist, Lord Captain.
The Omnissiah needs significant value.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline!
As the Emperor commands, I act. Doubt is for the weak. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Not a problem for me. All too easy.
Running binary math is an equation. Your life is a negligible variable. I am a savant of destruction. Request approved. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act. Guided by faith. Doubt is for the weak.
Anything it.
Indeed. At your beck and call. It will be done. I will do my duty. Just a minor setback.
If I may, try to die with grace at least.
In the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail.
The Omnissiah's function successfully terminated. My vow is... Request approved. The Omnissiah condemns you. Running binary code. The script will prove significant value. The Omnissiah knows.
There we go. Emperor, protect me. They killed... Every time I warn them, then they go all, Dear Emperor, our Lord and Savior, how could this happen? Who could have thought? Stop quivering on. Fear not, young man. We took care of the captain. Do you know who they were? Your lordship, the guys were emperors. They're a gang. They're the worst. I'm telling you, they're scared of no one. Not even Liege Shakura. Does this kind of thing happen often around here? Shooting, yes. Attacks on nobles, not very often, unless it's the emperors. They're vicious. Not a week goes by for them killing and gutting at somebody. They're wicked heretics. They respect nothing. They follow no rules. Go and report this. Yes, I'm sorry, lordship. I'll just report to the lord. They killed her. They killed my lady. Oh, this is terrible. Alright. Nope. Anything special? Caprice chestplate, some chainmail, a chain sword, a combat shotgun, ooh, some flak armor, scrapiato guns, shock batons, nothing too impressive. And then we're going to do year level real quick, and then we're going to be done. Yeah, Sanguine Siphon, Intelligence. Willpower. And yep, Poison, always great. Oh yeah, and then I want to pick your archetype. You're going to be Assassin. That's easy. Alright. And then I did take it off. I was just checking through it. Some of it you can turn to melee cargo that you can sell for faction points. Okay. Let's see. Cloud is still going, so we're going to grade Cloud. Right, everyone put your hands and feet inside the vehicle and we're going to go right over.